This is the TNA Emergence 2025 full show results video, which takes place at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. The show started with a match between Indi Hartwell versus Rosemary. Indi Hartwell and Rosemary battled fiercely, trading momentum throughout. Rosemary used biting, the upside down, and DDTs, while Hartwell countered with slams, strikes, and resilience. After a tense back and forth, Rosemary tried to unleash her green mist, but Danny Luna intervened. The distraction backfired when Rosemary missed, allowing Hartwell to capitalize. Seizing the moment, Hartwell delivered the devastating Hertz Donut to secure the victory. The match showcased Hartwell's toughness, Rosemary's unpredictability, and Luna's timely save, leaving fans buzzing over the dramatic finish. Moose apologized for his harsh words, but Callihan embraced the truth, using it as motivation. Determined to go out on his own terms, Callihan declared his resolve. Moose hoped it wasn't his last match, as Callihan demanded the TNA World Championship's return. The next match happened between the Hometown Man versus Ryan Nemeth. The Hometown Man started strong with strikes and a hip attack, but Nemeth took control with dropkicks, holds, and a DDT. After disrespecting his jersey, the Hometown Man fought back with slams and a spinning TKO. Despite Nemeth's tricks, a quick roll-up sealed the Hometown victory. The next match happened between Slater versus Cedric Alexander for the TNA X Division Championship. Josh Alexander and Slater clashed in a high-intensity battle filled with power and resilience. Alexander targeted Slater's back early with suplexes, power moves, and near falls, keeping control with a deliberate pace. Slater fought back with lariats, drop kicks, and high-flying attacks, though his injured back slowed him down. Momentum shifted as both men exchanged big moves, including a twisting superplex, Spanish fly, and near falls from cradles. Slater stunned Alexander with a daring 450 dive over the ring post, then survived Alexander's lumbar check attempts. In the end, Slater hit a Styles Clash followed by the Swanton 450 to secure victory. Backstage, Gia Miller interviews TNA World Champion Trick Williams in first class. Williams boasts about breaking records in TV deals, while AJ Francis promises to humble Moose and topple the system. Rich Swann adds, "If you ain't first class, you're last." The next match happened between Matt Cardona versus Mustafa Ali. Matt Cardona and Ali delivered a heated clash filled with intensity and interference. Cardona started strong with a clothesline, flapjack, and dropkick that wiped out Skyler and Hotch. Ali countered with a superkick and a DDT on the floor, thanks to outside distraction. Inside, Ali hit a rolling neckbreaker but missed a skytwister press, allowing Cardona to rally with a facebuster and DDT. Cardona nearly sealed it with a reboot, but Ali countered with a sit-down powerbomb and later a 450 splash. However, Ali's arrogant pin cost him, as Cardona capitalized with a crucifix roll-up to secure the victory. After the match, Order 4 beats Cardona down, and Agent Zero hits Cardona with a hanging tree slam. The system then makes their way down to the ring to save Cardona. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers then clothesline Agent Zero to the floor, and he lands on his feet. First class then make their way down to the ring for the next match of the PPV. The next match happened between First Class versus Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Swann is overpowered early by Edwards and Myers until Francis tags in, dominating with big strikes. Edwards nearly wins with a Blue Thunder bomb, but interference from Order 4 shifts momentum. Agent Zero slams Edwards, and Francis finishes with the down payment to secure victory. Mackenzie Mitchell then introduces Joe Hendry as the special guest commentator for the next match of the PPV, and Joe Hendry makes his way down to the ring and joins the announce desk. Sami Callihan then makes his way down to the ring for the next match of the PPV, and Mike Santana follows. Callihan then grabs a mic and cuts a promo before the match to wish his friends a happy anniversary. Callihan then talks about the stakes for the match. Callihan then asks for a Baltimore street fight, and Santana accepts. Then we saw a Baltimore street fight between Mike Santana versus Sami Callihan. Santana and Callihan brawled fiercely from the start, with Santana hitting an Ase moonsault before Callihan used weapons, including a chair, trash can, and stapler, to gain control. Callihan landed multiple piledrivers but couldn't finish Santana. Santana fought back with a cannonball and rolling buck 50, then hit a discus lariat. Despite Callihan kicking out, the referee mistakenly counted 3, awarding Santana the controversial victory. After the match, Santana showed respect to Sami Callihan with a fist bump before leaving. Callihan then removed his boots, placing them in the ring as a symbolic gesture of retirement. Emotionally, he kissed the mat while fans chanted, "Thank you, Sami." Callihan exited, and Joe Hendry acknowledged the difficulty of watching his retirement. Backstage, Sami Callihan received a standing ovation from the locker room and shared emotional hugs with Zachary Wentz, Joe Hendry, and Eddie Edwards. Eric Young interrupted with smack talk, but Hendry confronted him, blaming him for everything. After Young left, Hendry embraced Callihan, who quietly walked away. Masha Slamovich accompanied Zaya Brookside in laying Lee to ringside, greeting TNA President Carlos Silva, Tommy Dreamer, and Jazz before the Knockouts tag title match. Dreamer took the mic, calling wrestling about moments, praising Lee's journey from China, arriving without English or wrestling knowledge, to becoming a strong fighter in TNA. He announced her new contract, highlighting her as a representative of the Knockouts and women in general. Jazz presented the contract, Lee signed, and heartfelt hugs followed from Silva, Jazz, Brookside, and Slamovich. Mara Sadi is then introduced, and she makes her way out to be in the corner of the inspiration. The personal concierge then introduces the Elegance brand after reciting a poem he wrote for the Elegance brand in honor of Edgar Allan Poe, but Baltimore didn't enjoy it. The next match happened between Elegance brand versus Fatal Attraction versus Inspiration versus Zaya Brookside and Laying Lee for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. The match erupted in chaos as all 8 women brawled. Lee nearly pinned Henley, but Jane intervened, sparking more fights. Slamovich, Ash, and Sadi got ejected after brawling. Brookside and Lee hit dives outside, while chaos unfolded inside. After a flurry of finishers, M by Elegance struck Cassie Lee with the title belt for the decisive pinfall to retain the titles. Backstage, Indi Hartwell tells Danny Luna she wrestled half-blind yet still defeated Rosemary. Hartwell declares her desire to pursue the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Luna suggests they're a great team, but Hartwell insists she wants the title alone. The next match happened between Steve Macklin versus Jake Something for the TNA International Championship. The match began with Macklin and Jake Something brawling to the floor. Something dominated early, powerbombing Macklin onto steel steps and nearly hitting another on the stage before Macklin countered with a backdrop. Back inside, Something locked a dragon sleeper while upside down, but Macklin escaped, delivering 3 spears. Macklin then hit his Kia finisher, securing the hard-fought victory after a brutal back-and-forth battle. Steve Macklin praised Jake Something, challenged Frankie Kazarian, but Kazarian refused an immediate title match. The next match happened between Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy versus Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. The Hardys battled the Rascals in a back-and-forth contest, countering double teams before Matt's Twist of Fate and Jeff's Swanton Bomb secured the victory over Reed for the win. First Class hosted a surprise penthouse in AJ France's hometown, boasting about their Maryland roots and success. Confronted by Ravens mascot Poe in the system, tension rose until Alicia Edwards slapped Francis, ending the segment with Poe celebrating. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Trick Williams versus Moose for the TNA World Championship. Moose and Trick Williams battled fiercely with power moves, near falls, and dueling chants. Williams fought back after Moose's dominance, surviving spears and counters. After a chaotic sequence involving a ref bump and table spot, Williams landed consecutive trick shots to finally pin Moose for the victory. After the match, Carlos Silva presents Williams with the TNA World Championship, and Williams celebrates and stands tall as the show comes to a close. How would you rate TNA Emergence 2025? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.